Hello, this is Andrew with Missing Remote. A while back I did a guide around how to set up FreeRADIUS with $radius and MySQL in order to use that for Mac-based VLAN assignment with unified controllers. Drew asked a question around how to log the group in the post authentication or authorization table. Now I'm not exactly sure what he meant by that, whether it is what I did here, which is to write the VLAN that is assigned into the table, or if the question was more around how to write the name of the group into this table, because those are two different things, and they're of varying complexity. One is super easy, which is to write the VLAN ID into here. Adding groups is a much more complicated thing because you could potentially have more groups than just one. It's highly likely that in order to do that correctly, you would need to do schema modifications to the underlying table structures. And then, of course, it wouldn't just show up in $radius like this. So I'm going to show you how to do this. And then Drew, let me know. Either way, if this answers your question or if you were looking for something more complicated. To get started, set up your FreeRADIUS $radius infrastructure. The second step is to get into your server, whatever server is hosting your FreeRADIUS installation. In this case, I have an Ubuntu 20 system set up here, and we are going to edit. You know what? I'm going to escalate privilege just to make it a little easier to do this, because I can't remember the exact path. So we are going to edit etc FreeRADIUS 3 mods config SQL main. Now I'm going to show you here. There's all these different kinds of SQL that FreeRADIUS supports. We did MySQL, so that's where I'm going to go. If you use a different SQL, you're going to have to edit the SQL that's applicable to your installation. And we want queries.conf. Now I've already made this change, but it's all the way down at the bottom, which is in this the post auth query. By default, this bit isn't here. And what this bit does is it writes the tunnel private group ID, which corresponds to tunnel private group ID, your VLAN, into the reply column in the post auth table. You can do a lot of other things that are quite a bit more complicated than this. You can add columns to your table. You can write all these different variables into those columns if you want to using this, but then you would have to modify the user interface to support pulling that out again. So the easiest, slickest way to do this is just to add it. Like I did here, you just kind of put it in here. Because this is a reply variable, you have to have reply in front of it, just like the packet type has reply in front of it. These are documented variables as part of the radius specification, I believe. Certainly pretty easy to find these. I just looked it up and dropped it in here. Adding the group, because there are potentially multiple groups, would be complicated. You wouldn't just be able to put, select out the groups and put them in there. You'd have to probably add another table to support the one-to-many relationship, and then make sure that you key the tables up properly so that this entry here gets aligned correctly with the entry in the table that stars off of it. But that's, again, a more complicated thing. So we just did the easy thing here, which was to add the space, and then the parens and everything in between the parens before this apostrophe. And once you have that, you can just save it. FreeRADIUS won't pick up the change immediately, so you will need to bounce the service, which should be like system ctl FreeRADIUS restart. Oh, you know what? I have it backwards. I need boom. So once you do that, then the query change gets picked up by the service, and the next time you authenticate, or one of your devices authenticates, you'll start seeing the VLAN getting popped into this section there. So hopefully you found that useful. If you did, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or comments, drop them below. Or if you have anything else that you want me to do a quick video around how to do that with FreeRADIUS or $radius, just let me know. Cheers.